City of the future. According to Business Insider, cities are laboratories for innovation and the economic engine of nations. In 1900, only 14% of the world's population lived in cities. Today, for the first time in history, more than half of the world's population has moved into cities. This number will continue increasing as cities develop, and by 2050, 70% of the world's population will be in cities. In order to understand how future cities will look like, one must first identify what are the main problems that must be overcome all over the world in order to reach a more promising and bright future. First, it is appropriate to state that the role of cities over the past thousand of years has not changed much. In fact, ancient cities served as a political and administrative center, centers of culture including art, architecture, literature, and music, marketplaces for both local and long distance exchanges, and a center of manufacturing activity. Today's cities still resemble many of these traits. However, they have experienced a set of transformations that have allowed them to develop and expand in size, become more accessible, adapt technology, and more importantly, improve their overall standards of living in a sustainable manner. Insider did a study, and based on the speeches delivered by US governors in 2015, they were able to extract the top 5 problems faced by cities today. First, they concluded that economic development was the main problem, with over 75 of the speeches having this as their primary point and addressing this issue. It was followed by infrastructure that was present in 57% of the speeches and public safety with only 55% of presence. Lastly, the remaining two problems were budgets with 43% and education with 41% presence. On the other hand, other sources pointed out to different problems. A common problem tends to be the idea that cities are being accommodated to the needs of cars and not of pedestrians. Many people argue that this goes against the basic idea that the main goal of any city is to facilitate the life of humans. Secondly, there is concentrated poverty all over the globe, which touches base with another fragile issue, income inequality. As a result, this causes overall higher crime rates, worse public services, and economic prospects become minimal. Another problem is housing affordability. This has occurred due to a growing demand for people wanting to move into more urban and industrialized modern cities. As a result, it has pushed the price of rents up and proposes a big challenge to economic growth and opportunity. After looking at the main problems, future cities will most likely portray some of the following characteristics: being comfortable, safe, self sustainable, inclusive, and have open communication bridges. First, cities will become more comfortable, as most likely it will be drones that will be in charge of delivering goods and services. This will mean that drones will replace motorbikes and trucks and consequently reduce pollution, making cities more environmentally friendly. Also, even though many cities have already started to apply this tactic, in the near future there will be less roads and highways. In some parts of the world, such as Seoul, where this technique is already being applied, they have tried to convert highways into long green areas where residents are exposed to clean air and can peacefully spend the day with their families without having to travel kilometers to the outside of the city. Second, cities will become safer as roads will be once again recaptured for people. As a result, there will be an increase in safety outcomes, followed by a reduction in traffic incidents which kill 2,600 thousand kids every year and injure a further 10 million. Added to this, there will be more overall equality. That will lessen the income gap and hence will cause less crimes and overall happier citizens. Next, in third place, there will be more sustainable cities, mainly by the use of renewable energy sources. Energy sources such as wind, solar, and geothermal will transform from being used mainly by industries to being translated into homes and businesses, becoming the overall norm. For instance, solar panels and wind turbines could be installed in homes to generate individual electricity, which in fact is already being studied by companies like Vortex Plateless. Moreover, there are projects to move cities into the water. However, this is nothing new, as Venice, Lagos, and Singapore have been built on this base. A common example is the city of Marin, that plans to construct a zero-waste floating university city for over 7,000 residents. Next, cities will be more inclusive, meaning they will be meant and designed to accept anyone regardless of their gender, race, age, or challenges. As a result, cities will have to accommodate to ensure they fulfill everyone's needs and hence create a bigger and integrated sense of community and tolerance. Furthermore, cities will be even more globalized than they currently are, and this will help broaden up and increase the diversity of cultures, languages, costumes, traditions, and religions, making people feel like they are home, especially expats. Lastly, cities will become an open communication bridge, in part due to greater access to internet and globalization. As a result, ideas will be able to be shared easily and effectively from one place to another, and this will allow nations to work more cooperatively together in achieving bigger and more complex goals. Additionally, within cities, new technology such as the Internet of Things will be introduced, making less useful objects into extremely efficient ones. This is an idea that's already been looked into and it allows all of the city's objects to become interconnected and hence share the corresponding data to make the function of each individual object more meaningful. In conclusion, after having analyzed the main problems faced by cities today alongside with their main roles, one can conclude that cities of the future will have the following five characteristics: being comfortable, safe, self-sustainable, inclusive, and have an open communication bridge. We do not know for sure what the future will have for us in store. What we can certainly say is that cities will play an even bigger role in shaping our future. However, I hope that cities such as Istanbul, where I currently live, do not lose their unique atmosphere and most importantly, they do not lose their fundamental characteristics that they feel shaped them, such as commerce, the integration of different cultures, and a communication bridge between Europe and Asia that has been offered in Istanbul for more than 2,000 years under the names of Byzantium, Constantinople, and Istanbul. In fact, the first city ever built in the history of humankind was built in Turkey 12,000 years ago, what today is known as Göbekli Tepe.